All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Cleveland Cavaliers video. We're going to talk about how far can this Cavs team legitimately go. I posted a video a couple of days ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, on why this Cavaliers team actually has a shot at the NBA Finals. The reasoning behind that was if the Cavs can stay healthy, if the Cavs can stay out of the COVID protocols, you just really never know. I mean, last season, at the start of last season, no one guessed Suns Bucks. In retrospect, it makes a lot of sense as they are two phenomenal basketball teams, well coached, etc., etc. But no one was predicting that, especially given the Phoenix Suns' past couple of seasons, Chris Paul's track record, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks' track record in previous postseasons. So the Cavs they've got a chance. I think it's pretty low at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the league right now. It's kind of just a whole weird phase. The Cavs team right now with this current roster, I see them being a second round exit. I think that you could probably make the case that they'll be a first round exit. You could make the case that they'll be a second round exit. I mean, you could even argue that they will make the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think for right now, for me, my prediction is that they lose in the second round of the playoffs. The reason of that, I think that they'll actually be able to secure a top 4 seed. I think they'll be able to get the 4th seed. The Cavs are 19-12 right now, and they have won 6 straight. Is it 6 straight? Yeah, 6 straight basketball games because that Hawks game got postponed. I was listening to the Locked On Cavs podcast because the title it was kind of eye-popping. Basically, I think I didn't listen to it fully, but I guess they went through trade ideas around Buddy Hield, Caris LeVert, and Cam Reddish. I guess there was like an article, a Cavs article or something. Maybe it was on Bleacher Report or what have you. But they were discussing those 3 trades, and I didn't even need to listen to the video because I already know the Cavs don't need any of them, and I'll explain it why in just a second. But before we get into this video, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, dropping a comment down below for the algorithm. Also subscribe if you guys are new. Cavs Nation, I love you guys so much, man. You guys are single-handedly bringing me to, I mean, we're literally 190 subs away from 10,000 subs. I never thought I would get that in just 1 year, so thank you guys so much. But let's talk about this. So the way I see it, like Caris LeVert, I mean, yeah, he can score. But before we dive into the players, I think what's important for the Cavaliers this year is to just have patience. Patience is pretty much what got them to this spot to begin with. The chemistry on the Cavaliers team is one of the best in the league, if not the best chemistry in the entire league. I mean, these are very, very young players who are very talented, and they just mesh well together. And I look at all these trades and they just don't do it for me. I mean, Cam Reddish is an intriguing prospect if you can get him for the cheap. But if you think about it from a Cavaliers perspective, you're not going to start him because Lauri Markkanen is there for a reason. Defensively, he's good. Offensively, he's good. He can knock down an open 3. He can get something going in the paint. Good depth to have. I really like Lauri Markkanen at that 3 position. So that means you would put Cam Reddish on the bench. Well, is he better than Cedi Osman? I mean, I don't really, maybe statistically speaking, Cam Reddish has really struggled in his NBA career. I mean, along with injuries, he's kind of playing exactly how he played at Duke. Like, you know he's athletic, you know, I mean, he can handle the ball, he can play defense. There's potential there. He can make open 3s, he can make contested 3s, he can just make 3s. But I'm going back to the chemistry thing. I don't think that I don't think he tips the scale over Cedi. I really don't, just because of chemistry purposes. I mean, Osman meshes perfectly on the bench, and I don't think that taking that risk on Cam Reddish is really worth it. Ideally, I think the Cavs, basically, before I get into that, is the Cavaliers, if they were to make one of these moves, if they were to get a Caris LeVert or a borderline star or a borderline all-star, yes, you might be better, but most likely it's a little too risky. It's a little too risky. I always say in my Cavs videos, the Cavs are about 1 star away from really making a lot of noise in the Eastern Conference, but I think that they're just better suited letting this season ride and then making the adjustments, making the signings, making the trades in the offseason. I think that's their best case. They're 19-12 right now. They have one of the best defenses in the NBA. They're a really talented basketball team. So I just don't see a purpose in messing their chemistry, messing with the patience that this coaching staff, that this organization has orchestrated. So moving on, Caris LeVert. Yes, he's a very fun basketball player, but first off, defense, immediate defensive issues. But most importantly, this man can't stay healthy for his life. I don't know if he's ever had one season where he was healthy throughout the whole season. Caris LeVert, it's just very, very risky, and I don't see a problem with Collin Sexton. I don't think they have a Collin Sexton problem. As long as they can work out a deal that makes sense for both sides, I don't see a reason why Collin Sexton wouldn't help out this Cavaliers team. I mean, if they had Sexton right now, I really wonder what they would look like. So moving on, Buddy Hield, your defense is going to just take a huge blow. And Isaac Okoro at that starting shooting guard position, I absolutely love it. Keep in mind, before he went down with COVID, he had 3 out of 4, or was it 3 straight games scoring over 15 points, and 4 of his last 5 he scored over 15 points. So offensively, he's picking it up, and defensively, the man is a menace. The man is an absolute certified menace on the defensive end, so I don't see any reason to bring in Buddy Hield. If you want to throw Buddy Hield on the bench, first off, still have defensive issues. Buddy Hield off the bench might be the only option that I kind of like about this, but I don't see any players on the Cavs team that I would want to trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the roster that they have. I've talked about this in several videos. If they made a move this season, I think they would be better off for a smaller, low-key player, just because of COVID, everything, all this COVID crap, and then injuries. I mean, I don't really like, I like Dylan Windler, I like Denzel Valentine as players, but I don't really like the idea of having to, consistently rely on both of those 2 players right now, especially Denzel Valentine. You guys know me, I'm a Bulls fan. I live here in Chicago, so I've had my share of Denzel Valentine in my life. I just don't want to rely on that man consistently. So if the Cavs made a move this season, I would prefer for it to be a very low-key signing, almost like an Alfonzo McKinney on the Chicago Bulls, like one of those very low-key, deep in the rotation. When he's hot, maybe you play him, but for the most part, he's there for either garbage time, just depth purposes, locker room, whatever, what have you. I mean, just find a player who fits what you're looking for. I mean, we've talked about Seth Curry on this channel before. Defensively, Seth Curry doesn't give me anything, and offensively, the Cavs don't have a 3-point shooting problem. They're perfectly fine shooting the 3-ball. So I really don't think that the Cavs should make any moves. I would love to hear from you guys down below, specifically on those 3 players, but also just on your opinion on how far this Cavs team can go and what moves you want them to do, if you want them to make any moves at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Once again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got all my social links down below in the bio, and hit that subscribe button, man. We're only 191 away. Peace.